Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala ashraf al-anbiya wal mursaleen. Praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and blessings and peace be upon all of the prophets whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to this short lasting abode. Mu'azzaz Sami'een, respected listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are live on Dars Quran International, and your host Fozrul Islam Khan, Director of Islamic Marriage Solutions. Alhamdulillah, once again we resume our weekly marriage related program. And if you'd remember, last time we were in Clacton-on-Sea. Alhamdulillah, we're back to East London, and we are resuming our weekly marriage program, inshallah ta'ala. This is the fourth weekly marriage program. Alhamdulillah, we had Ramadan in between, and now we are inshallah resuming. So first of all, we want to give us a quick recap on what has been spoken about, and inshallah we will swiftly move on, inshallah. So quick recap, previously we spoke about taqwa, and I just want to quickly add one narration of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reported by Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu ta'ala an, and he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as anyone would do, and ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a question. So he said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, awsini, O Prophet of Allah, give me some advice. So the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that alayka bi taqwallahi. So upon you is to exercise piety, exercise taqwa, and hold on to this quality. So then Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu ta'ala an, he didn't stop there. He said, Ya Rasulullah, zidni, tell me more. So you've given me one advice, tell me more. So the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, alayka bi tilawatil Qur'ani, fa innaha alayka bi tilawatil Qur'ani. Upon you is to take hold of the Quran, meaning recite the Quran, continually recite the Quran. So these are two pieces of advice the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave to Abu Dharr al-Ghifari. And when Abu Dharr al-Ghifari asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for some advice, he said, alayka bi taqwallahi. Then he said, alayka bi tilawatil Qur'ani. So based upon these two pieces of advice that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave to Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, I would want to remind ourselves that as a husband and wife, because obviously we are talking about marriage, as a husband and wife, as long as they both hold on to this quality of taqwa, and also hold on to this practice, at least this practice of continuously reciting the Quran by way of reciting every single day in their lives, then inshallah they will go a long way in life. As long as they are attached to these two things, one is the quality of taqwa and exercising taqwa, and the other one is recitation of the Quran. And it is a lot of benefit if husband and wife together, if there was to recite the Quran together, meaning separately but in one sitting as well. So this is a very amazing hadith that inshallah we will revisit in the future, but I wanted to share it with us today. And also we spoke about the subject matter, previously we spoke about the subject matter of the sermon and nikah, the sermon meaning the khutbah of nikah and marriage in Islam as well. And also we spoke about the objectives. Last time we spoke about some of the objectives and purposes of marriage in Islam. I would want to now go back to the objectives and purposes of nikah and marriage in Islam. And I would like to actually continue this topic of objectives of nikah and marriage in Islam. And I would like to make a very, very important point here. First and foremost for myself and everyone who is listening, inshallah ta'ala. And that is that there is definitely a misunderstanding, or at least a notion that a lot of people have, not all, but a lot of the people have, and perhaps it is a taboo-like subject, which is now, alhamdulillah, dying out as the society and the community advances, etc., as times pass, etc. It is definitely dying out, and it is definitely on the decrease rather than on an increase. What is that? It is a decreasing problem of society. And what is it? It is that responsibility that husband and wife have after marriage and what people think it to be. So one is that the husband to be and the wife to be, they have certain responsibilities after marriage. And those responsibilities after marriage in Islam are set. The rules and regulations are there for us to see. However, there are those responsibilities that are given to the husband and wife that people think it to be. Meaning people think that a lot of these responsibilities that are just normally given to the husband and wife are from Islam, but it is not from Islam. And it is this influence of, you could say, culture and tradition, where it's so mixed up that people end up being confused. They end up being confused about whether a certain aspect of the responsibility given to the husband or wife is actually Islam or not. So people end up getting confused. And what I want you to say very briefly is that the responsibilities to the husband and the responsibilities to the wife in Islam are very clear and cut. However, because of the influence of, you can say, culture, tradition, and a'raf, which we call custom, etc., has mixed into Islam so much so that people are getting confused. Now, what I want to say is that what a married couple or those who are on the threshold to, inshallah, getting married in the future, our progeny, our offsprings, etc., is that rather they, in terms of responsibility and in terms of a married life after marriage, is that both husband and wife, they need to come to the middle, or they come and meet in the middle with one another. So when they come and meet in the middle with one another, they are actually creating a life after marriage, a separate life which is after marriage. And what I want to point out here is that when a husband-to-be becomes married, this should not come to his mind or thought that I am leaving my life and my previous lifestyle and I'm entering the life and the lifestyle of my wife. And in the same time, a wife to be should not think or it should not come into her mind that I am leaving my life, my previous life and my previous lifestyle totally and entering the life and lifestyle of my husband. Rather, married life comprises of two people coming together and meeting in the middle and kind of understanding each other's responsibilities and also fulfilling the responsibility given to them and fulfilling that obligation as well. Inshallah, when they both come to the middle and they meet in the middle, then inshallah they will go a long way in life as well. So, but obviously, in order for them to come in the middle, or in order for them to have that kind of mutual understanding after marriage, it all begins from somewhere. And we mentioned this previously a few weeks ago about where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about love and rahmah and mercy between the spouses, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Rum that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us a spouse. And what is this spouse? We find peace, solace, comfort with one another. A wife with her husband, and her husband with her and a husband with his wife. They find tranquility, they find peace, they find love, and they find compassion. Now, meeting in the middle and having that mutual understanding, this all starts from peace and love. The Prophet ﷺ has mentioned in a hadith that lam nara lil mutahabbaini mithla nikah, that there is no love in this dunya, there is no love in this world that matches the love that is created between a husband and wife. That is one hadith with regards to love that I want us to bear in mind and keep in mind. The number two, second hadith that the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned, he said that ma buni'a fil islami bina'a min ahabbu ila Allah azza wa jalla min at-tazwij. That the Prophet ﷺ has said that there is no foundation in Islam that is built upon love, then tazwij, then marriage. There is no foundation that is built upon love in Islam that is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than tazwij, then the love that is created between two married couples. So this is something that a husband and wife, inshallah, love will create, and it will increase after marriage, of course. But this is something like a foundation that the husband and wife, inshallah, can work on. And when they work on this, inshallah, they can go forward, and inshallah they will have a long prosperous life, and they can go long in life. So inshallah, this is something that we ought to pay a lot of attention to, and that is love. And that is love that is created between a married couple, between a husband and wife, which Islam stresses upon as well. So inshallah, until next time, wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Inshallah, we'll continue our weekly dars. Inshallah, stay tuned next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.